want to wrap with you guys about Daniel chapter 3 and its significance to our daily lives and what it means to be a true follower of Christ. So for those who are unfamiliar with Daniel chapter 3, the king of Babylon creates this golden statue, and he tells his subjects to bow down and worship that statue. And if you don't, then he's going to throw you into a fiery furnace for you to die. And everyone, all of his subjects, for the most part, they followed the rule. They bowed down and they worshipped it because they didn't want to die. You know, they didn't want to get thrown into a fiery furnace. But there was three Jewish men who openly defied and rebelled against the king and said, no, we aren't going to worship that statue. We believe in our God, and no, that goes against his. No, we're not doing that. And the king gave them one last chance to abide by his rules. And they said, no, if our God is real, then he will protect us in the fire. And if he doesn't protect us, we still are not going to bow down to that statue. We're not doing it. So the king and his soldiers, they tied the men up in a rope and threw them in the furnace. Now, to the king's amazement, when he went to go check on them, instead of there being 3 men in the furnace, there was 4 men. He saw 4 figures in the fire. But when he pulled them out, there was only 3. And everything remained unburned. Nothing was burned except for the rope that tied them together. That was the only thing that got scorched in the fire. Their hair was unhinged. Their skin had no burns. Their clothes unmarked. They didn't even smell like smoke. Yet the only thing that was burned off was the rope that was tying them, that was binding them together. And the king was so amazed at this that he ended up worshiping their God, our God. He switched over and worshiped the God because he was so amazed at his power. And the point that I'm trying to get at here is there is nothing of this world, there is nothing of this society that can bind us down if God wills us to be free. No matter the trauma, no matter the pain, no matter the suffering, nothing can bind us. Nothing will keep us down if God wills us to be free. That's 1. And 2, as a true follower of Christ, we are going to be thrown into the furnace. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. There is no avoiding it. There's no stopping it. There's no escaping it. We are going to be thrown in the fire. God does not promise to protect us from the fire, but he promises to protect us within the fire. That 4th figure, that was God. That was God being with them, protecting them while they were in the fire. And that's what God promises. So it's important for us not to compromise our judgment, not to compromise our morals, compromise our beliefs, compromise our faith in order to remain comfortable trying to avoid that fiery furnace. As long as we maintain our faith in God, keep strong faith, strong courage within our God that he will protect us, whenever we are thrown into that fire, whether that be troubles, heartache, again, pain, suffering, whatever it may be, God will be there, and he will never allow something to happen to us that he knows that we cannot handle. So don't let the fear of being thrown into the fire compromise your faith. Instead, let your faith give you courage that no matter what is thrown in your direction, God will always be there to protect us and to save us and make sure that we are unharmed in the end.